What's going on, everybody? So this is Todd Brown, and it is Sunday afternoon. It's 3 p.m. Eastern Time, my time. Welcome, everybody. I appreciate you guys and gals being with us, taking time out of your weekend. I hope each and every one of you are having a great weekend, relaxing a little bit. This is going to be a cool little hangout, very casual. There are no slides. There's no formal presentation. I've got two really cool special guests with us today. I've got Brian Moran and Scott Moran, and no doubt about it, if you're on here, it's because over the last week and a half, you've probably heard a lot of talk, a lot of buzz about their fan page funnel, and you've probably seen some of the videos that they put out as part of their public rollout. This thing's been pretty massive, pretty exciting. It's a stellar program. Brian and Scott have got this thing nailed, and so here's what the plan is for today. And we're probably going to go, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes, maybe 60 minutes max. What today is all about is talking to these guys about the fan page funnel. And I want to we're going to do a little bit of dissection of the funnel. We're going to talk about some of the key components of the funnel. I'm going to strive to give you, together with Scott and Brian, a lot of ahas as it relates to both the fan page funnel and your own funnel. Of course, you're going to hear a little bit more about the fan page funnel. As well, I want to give you guys and gals the opportunity to ask whatever questions it is that you have. So there is a little box, I think, below this video on this page. You can enter a question in anytime you want. You're not going to be redirected to a different page. If you think of another question after, you could just go ahead and type it in again. I'll be checking those questions as we go. And I want this to be valuable for you. I want you to walk away with a new piece of information you can implement and utilize to make more money in your business through greater conversions in your funnel, hopefully through your implementation of the fan page funnel. And so first, before we get started, welcome Brian, welcome Scott. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your crazy schedule to be here.
Thanks. No, it's our pleasure to be here.
Definitely.
Cool, man. Awesome. So let's start off. I want to start off, and I know that this is going to seem a little, probably potentially a little basic, or it's going to seem a little basic for everybody, but I think that it's really essential that we talk about why today, in the online marketing world, marketers need to have a dialed marketing funnel. Like today, it's no longer good enough to simply have a squeeze page and a simple sales message and one or two email follow-ups, or even a full week of autoresponder emails. Like, why is it so critical today, more so than ever, to have this dialed marketing funnel in place? And either one of you guys can field that.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, like when I got started, it was 4 years ago, and it was less competitive than it is today. So imagine how much more competitive it is now, where, I don't know what the stats are as far as how many people in this world are online, but there's a crap load of them. And people see, guys like us, guys like Todd, guys like, anyone selling stuff online, and now, everyone realizes that it's actually a sustainable business model. You can turn it into, an actual income stream. So you just have flat out more competition. I don't care if we're talking about competition for free traffic, whether you're competing for Google search results or YouTube results or fan page fans or whatever it is, or paid traffic, whether you're competing to pay, more or less for banner ads and YouTube ads and Facebook ads and Twitter ads and all this stuff out there. Wherever you're getting your traffic from, it's just flat out more competitive. So rewind 4 years ago when I got started, it was less competitive then, and I needed a funnel to make it work then. So it's even more critical now, where if you're just depending on one product and one sales page, and you're not doing things like building an email list or building a customer list and messaging those people and building a relationship with them and having other things to sell them, and you're not doing anything to increase your lifetime customer value, you're just depending on a $97 ebook or a $47 course, you're just dead in the water. And there's hundreds of reasons for it, but you just can't compete. You have to be able to be a professional when it comes to creating a business that's going to monetize a single person over and over and over again, or getting just more dollars per transaction when that customer buys from you. And I think it's evident in what we see in a lot of the biggest companies in the world with Apple and Amazon and all these guys, and it's evident in the small companies. There's just not a lot of one-hit wonders anymore. You look at, one of my favorite examples actually is you have the GoPro camera now. Todd, what was the name of that camera? It was the flip cam. You remember the flip cam? And the flip cam kind of, they banked on a one-hit wonder, and they did really freaking well for about a year. I think I bought like 2 or 3 of them. And they failed to continue to evolve the product and create accessories and create version 2 and version 3 and other kinds of cameras, and they just failed to do it. Then you had somebody like GoPro come along and create, a one-hit wonder, and then they innovated. I think there's 4 or 5 versions of that damn thing now. There are accessories, like I have one for my ski pole, I have one for my ski helmet. I got buddies who use it for surfing. There's so many other little products that they've made. That's their funnel. So, you think it's different online and offline, but it's not. Like, those guys are pros, and their funnel is endless. It just never gets, it never ends. So, anyway, I just think, long story short, that's kind of, it's just too competitive out there to be, I don't want to call it lazy, but it's kind of what it is, and just depend on one product, one landing page, all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, and let me break it down even further, right? Because, and just for everybody that's on here, right? So there is no script for this hangout. There's no, like Brian, texted me before to kind of ask what we were going to be talking about, right? So in other words, this is a casual hangout. And so, but I want to break that down a little bit more for everybody and really just kind of get on a little bit of a micro level as it relates to what Brian is saying. And so, number one, it's certainly more competitive today online than it was many years ago. Certainly when I first got online 12 plus years ago, right? 12 plus years ago, there weren't as many marketers online. There weren't as many savvy marketers. The traffic costs were nowhere near it. The media costs were nowhere near what they were today. And yeah, years ago we made a lot of money with a simple squeeze page, a long-form sales letter, and a virtually endless autoresponder series. And back then, years ago, like let's say if you were in the information marketing business, you can get away with one product, right? You could legitimately sell one product on the first sale. Like you could sell an ebook, and you could have your entire business back then based around a simple ebook, and you could do really well. The reason why you could do really well back then was because media costs were extremely low. In fact, one of the niches that we first operated in many, many years ago, the chiropractic niche, we used to pay we would pay around 40 cents a click for certain keywords via Google AdWords. And at 40 cents a click back then, ultra targeted, you're targeting buyers we were targeting buyers at 40 cents a click. We were selling a high price program, and we were able to just rock the house and do really well. Well, that same 40-cent keyword today would cost us about $3.75 per click. Right, and so the ball game is vastly different today. And so today, I'll go as far as to say that in the information marketing arena, you can't make it work with an ebook. Like today, there are no businesses that long-term, viable, sustainable businesses that are built around one single ebook today, especially an ebook that sells for $39 or $29 or $49, because it's so competitive with media costs today that you've got to be able to have a higher front-end transaction value. You've got to be able to extract more money today on that very first transaction than you had to extract years ago when media costs were low. Today, you've got to extract a lot more on that first transaction so you can afford to pay for paid traffic. Right, and so I want everybody to really get that. And so, Brian or Scott, you have anything that you would add to that in terms of the media costs?
I totally agree with Brian. One of the things that we talk about a lot is you don't see the real life businesses doing what people could get away with online. I think, like you talk about, you've been along longer than we have, but even when we first started out online with baseball training stuff, yeah, it was still kind of how it was. But no, it's funny. It's just, I feel like the marketplace is just demanding more from you, and if you want to be able to go out there and scale upwards and not be this flash in the pan, it really is all about making sure your lifetime customer value is as high as it possibly can be, and that simply doesn't fit with the model of, I'm going to sell this one thing, I'm going to talk to them for 7-10 days or something with email. Just it won't cut it. You're going to be sitting there looking at a lot of money lost and not a lot to show for it.
Yeah. And yeah, absolutely, man. And let me address something else. And we're gonna don't worry, we're gonna get into some of the key steps in the fan page funnel. But I want to lay the kind of the groundwork. I want to lay the foundation for you guys and gals, because I want you to understand the value of something like the fan page funnel. I want you to understand the value of having a dialed funnel. And in order to understand the value, you really need to understand some of the key things that need to be going on in your business as it relates to your marketing. And so one of them is, is understanding, of course, like most of you do, that the competitive landscape is fierce. It is ferocious today, right? And you've got to recognize that that you're not operating in a vacuum, right? That there are other marketers, other companies, other competitors that are also setting up their marketing funnels, that are offering competing products, that are trying to structure their offers to be over the top, irresistible. They're buying media, right? So you're not operating in a vacuum. So you need to recognize the competitive landscape. The second thing that you really need to understand, and this was something that I didn't get early on, and I was fortunate to get to work with and work alongside of guys like Jay Abraham and Clayton Makepeace and Mark Ford, Michael Masterson, and it was being around those guys, especially Michael Masterson, that got me to understand some of the key core aspects of what separates the really successful direct response marketers online, like the ones that build, multi-million-dollar plus businesses with, through their funnels, and the marketers that, eke out, whether it be a few $1,000s a month to, low six figures a year. And one of the big differences is understanding that your ability to acquire customers, right? First and foremost, the single most important priority in your business is your ability to regularly acquire customers from paid media, period. That was something that I talk about. I talk about this often. I talk about it in virtually every training that I do. When I sat down with many years ago, when I sat down with my buddy Rick Sheffrin, and we were talking about the vulnerabilities of relying on affiliates, of relying on JVs, of reliance on launch after launch after launch. And he said to me then that, look, you're never going to have a consistent business, a stable business, a reliable income that you can count on until you can afford to pay for the acquisition of customers, until you can afford to use paid media to acquire new customers. Until you can use paid media to acquire customers, he said to me, you don't have a business, you have a promotion. You have a promotion that relies on affiliates, that relies on partners, that relies on a launch, and if partners flake out, if tech issues happen with your launch, you don't want to hustle every 4 months or whatnot, you've got to be able to acquire new customers from paid media. Now, to take that a step further, because many of you have probably heard me say that before, you're going to see how this ties back to what we're about to get into when we talk about some of the key core elements of the fan page funnel. But is this idea that your ability to use paid media to acquire customers goes back to your ability to generate a certain dollar amount per visitor to your funnel, right? So what I mean by that is that if it costs you $1 to generate a visitor to your website, to your funnel, then you need to be able to extract at a bare minimum $1 in terms of sales in the acquisition of new customers. Anything less than $1 and you're losing money. Every time you generate a visitor, it's actually costing you money. For some mature companies that have the cash flow, that have the capital, that's cool. We're not going to talk about that today, right? That's much more advanced strategy. But so here's the name of the game. As media costs rise, and they continue to rise, you have to be able to extract more and more from your visitors. And the only way that you're able to extract more and more from your visitors is when you have a rock solid conversion vehicle, when you have a rock solid marketing funnel. See, I put out a post a couple days ago, and then Brian, I want your insight on this. I want you to kind of share your perspective on this, and then we're going to start to get knee deep. But I talked about maybe a week ago this idea that it drives me crazy, man, when I see marketers, seemingly savvy, sharp marketers, that will post on Facebook like, hey, look, I'm getting 4-cent clicks, or hey, I'm getting 7-cent clicks, and what they're all about is I'm getting 6-cent clicks or 7-cent clicks or 3-cent clicks or whatever the number is. At the end of the day, that number is meaningless if you don't know what it is that you're generating per click. Because like I said in the blog post or the email that I sent out, even at 3-cent clicks, you could still lose money and go out of business, right? If you're not turning those 3-cent clicks into money and you're not converting anybody, well, then the more of those 3-cent clicks that you get, the more money you lose, right? And the more visitors you get, the faster you lose money. And so the name of the game today is your ability to convert your traffic and convert at a dollar amount that allows you to pay more than any other competitor in your marketplace. See, the goal is not to pay the least. The goal is to be able to afford to pay more to acquire a single customer than all of your competitors can. Because when you can afford to pay more than your competitors can, you can dominate. You will dominate. You can use all these sources that they can't use. And the way you do that, the way you're able to do that, the whole name of the game is with your marketing funnel. It's the marketing funnel that determines the whole game. So Brian, is there anything that you would add to that?
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on. And it's funny, we teach Facebook ads all the time. We have a complete course about Facebook ads, and people are so worried about, hey, how cheap can I get my clicks using your course? And we say, we can teach you to get cheap clicks, but that's not what I want for you as a student. Because, imagine you're looking at Facebook or Google and you see the ads over on the right-hand side. The guy down at the bottom, the very bottom, might be paying those 3-cent clicks, but I'm up at the top paying, let's just say $1 a click, and I'm making more money in the long run, even though I'm paying more, because I'm able to extract more. I'm getting a higher ROI. I don't care what he's paying per click. He's getting less traffic because he's at the bottom of the page. So he loses when it comes to who's getting more customers, because I own the top of the page. So, and that's where the traffic goes. He's not getting any traffic down there. He might be getting a couple clicks a day at 3 cents, but if he's making money, he's not making very much at all, not enough to stay in business. So, yeah, we're always constantly battling that whole penny click, that whole argument, and it's not what you need to be thinking about. If I were going into a market, or I had Scott trying to convince me to start one business and Todd trying to convince me to start another, and Scott's telling me, hey, I can get you in this market, you take over my business, I can get 3-cent clicks, but I'm only getting I'm getting no ROI whatsoever, or very small ROI. And then Todd has a funnel where he's paying $20 a click, but he's getting a 10-to-1 ROI. Well, I'm going to go take my $20 that I have to invest and go buy 1 click in Todd's campaign and tenfold my ROI, and then do the same thing the next day and the next day, the next day, and that business will obliterate Scott's business, even though Scott's paying pennies per click. It's not what you're paying per click; it's the ROI you're getting on it. That's where you guys need to be thinking about, and where if you can get to the point, like Todd said, where you're ROIing on the max you could pay in that traffic source. So Facebook ads, whether it's $1 a click or a couple of dollars a click, whatever, every industry is different. But if you can ROI, you win. because you could buy every slot on the whole page. You could go to any site and buy banners all over the whole site, and you could get all the traffic there is to be had in that niche. So yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, that's the whole name.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing, man. You said something that is so profound, man, that I hope everybody understands, and I don't want it to just breeze you. You know, Brian, he said, in a way, he said, like, here, like an example, like, if you can afford to pay $2 a click, let's say $2 a click, if you can afford to pay $2 a click because you have just a dialed marketing funnel in place, you have a dialed process in place that takes your traffic, turns a percentage of that traffic into opt-ins, into leads, turns a percentage of those leads into customers, and then turns those front-end customers into a certain percentage that buys certain upsells or add-on offers, and then back-ends. And let's say because of that, you can afford to pay $2 a click, you're going to dominate. You're going to go in and dominate, right? You don't have to worry anymore. You don't have to worry about, am I going to pay 3 cents a click or 8 cents a click or 30 cents a click or 43 cents a click, $1.15 a click? Like, that stuff becomes insignificant when you've got a funnel in place that allows you to turn a visitor to your website into $2. When every visitor on average is worth, let's say, $2 or $3 to you because of your marketing funnel, you never have a traffic problem. You know, and that's the thing that, like, I tried to convey, and I try to convey in like the marketing that we do for lots of our trainings, this idea that there is no such thing as a traffic problem. With all of my coaching clients, with all of my consulting clients, with all the clients that hire me to do their funnels for them or fix their funnels or critique their funnels, I have never come across a business that legitimately had a traffic problem. It was all the problem was that they couldn't afford to pay for traffic. They couldn't afford to invest money into Facebook because they had no way to convert that traffic that they would get into sales at a reasonable enough conversion rate, at a reasonable enough dollar amount to pay for the traffic. See, the holy grail in marketing is when you're able to generate, let's say, traffic for, let's pick a number, $1 a click, and you're able to extract out $1 on average per click in sales, forget about it. Your life is going to change. Your life will never be the same again because the business goes from this focus on marketing to this focus now on scale. Let me now dump more and more and more people into that funnel because you will acquire new customers for free, buyers for free all day long. And the way that you do that is with a dialed marketing funnel. And so I think that's a perfect, really, segue for us to start to talk about some of the key components of the fan page funnel. Now, let's start off. There's so much to talk about. And look, for those of you that are here, that are in attendance, that are watching, and we'll probably have a recording, so some of you might be watching this live. We've got close to 100 people on here with us live, and I'm sure we'll have multiples of that watch the recording. You know that I rarely promote other people's stuff. Since the inception of the Marketing Funnel Automation brand, I've probably promoted 2, maybe 3 other people. And the only time I promote any other training or any other marketer is when I wholeheartedly believe in it. Any kind of affiliate commissions that I get is secondary to me. It's always about you guys getting value. Well, I've seen what these guys do, and I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt, they impress the hell out of me. And I don't say that lightly. And there's not many people that do impress the heck out of me the way these guys have. Not just I could talk about the way they run the company, and there are things I want to learn from these guys, and I mean that sincerely. Their marketing funnel is totally dialed. And so I want to start to talk about that. And so, Brian, let's talk about the first part of the fan page funnel is acquiring leads on Facebook and not taking Facebook traffic off of Facebook. So the first thing that I want you to cover very quickly, because this was something that I didn't see covered. Now, I could have missed it in the training that you guys put out, but What about the marketers that are just getting started, let's say, or they're very early in their business, they're working on their first product, or they just finished their first product, and they don't have a Facebook fan page, they don't have a following, they don't have a tribe, and they're either thinking like that's a pain in the ass to do, or do I really need that? Is my business the type that needs a fan page? Like, what's the answer to that?
I guess I was sitting in those same shoes, and the reason that when we first started this whole thing and kind of where I stumbled on the fan page funnel and how to sort of make that work was I didn't have a fan page either. I had this little baseball site. I think we had like a couple hundred fans. Most of them were like my friends and family. So I thought, I don't really want to have to monitor a fan page or post to it daily and all that other stuff. But my first step of action was I want to start running Facebook ads, and I was running them to our site, just a squeeze page on my own website, which was called trainbaseball.com, and it's still up. You guys can go check it out if you wanted. But I wasn't getting that good of an opt-in rate, and I was sort of breaking even. My funnel wasn't really built out, so I wasn't ROIing on my campaign. I was paying maybe 25 cents a click back then. The baseball niche isn't as competitive as it is today, but I was making, maybe 15, 20 cents a click. So I was losing money, and I thought, well, I wonder if I can increase my opt-in rate, actually get more opt-ins if I send my Facebook ads back into Facebook to my fan page, if I can find a way to still collect leads. So I, tried for, I think it was weeks, really trying to figure out how I could put an opt-in page on my actual fan page, and it was just around that time when Facebook let you set up what's called a custom tab, basically a landing page inside of Facebook. So I set one up, and I made it look exactly like my website. I had an opt-in form. I gave away a free piece of content in exchange for their email, and it worked. It actually raised my conversion rate. My opt-in rate went from like 20 to 30%, and instantly that one switch drove my lead cost down so much because I was converting more leads for every dollar I spent. And that made the business profitable. And what I didn't realize until a couple weeks later, I had kind of checked back. I wasn't managing my fan page. I wasn't using it to post. Like I said before, I didn't really want a fan page. I had a website to take care of. I had an email list to take care of. I didn't need another chore. And I checked back like 4 weeks later, and I had 10,000 fans on this page solely because all of my ad traffic was flowing through my fan page back to my website. And all of that traffic going through my fan page, a lot of the people that either opted in or didn't opt in were becoming a fan. They were seeing that like button, they were clicking like even if they didn't put their email in, and most everyone that put their email in was clicking like right before they did it. So just as like a free byproduct, I had built this secondary list of over 10,000 fans just out of nowhere. I never once posted to that fan page to get fans. I don't, it wasn't a business model I wanted. I wasn't looking for ways to get free traffic. It just literally happened like out of thin air because we had put so many people through that fan page. So, if you're thinking same thing, I don't want a fan page, I don't need one, it's not going to work in my niche, that's not really the point. The point was we just wanted an opt-in page that converted higher. And so we found that for a Facebook ad, running a Facebook ad to a Facebook fan page got us a better opt-in rate than running it off our site. So for me, it was a no-brainer. There was no decision to make because my opt-in rate was higher, and that's what drove that business. That's what drove sales. And that was pretty much the end game. So a lot of times now we'll split test between running them off Facebook, on Facebook. It's all market specific. We're not. Even in the course, full disclosure, I explain and teach in the course that there are some niches, there are some products that we still recommend. All of them we recommend you test both, sending ads off and on Facebook. We've seen it work really well. We've seen it not work as well. But the point is that a fan page becomes an integral part of the whole process because running Facebook ads by nature, they convert better coming from a fan page, just on average from all the tests we've seen.
And so, and for everybody that is here and thinking like, well, how the heck do I do that? Like, right? If for those of you that are kind of new to online marketing, there are tools out there that allow you with virtually one click of a mouse to pop a squeeze page, an opt-in page into a Facebook fan page. So setting up a Facebook fan page, first of all, is free. It takes minutes to do. And popping a squeeze page into a fan page, like a custom tab, a tab on a fan page, can be done, like I said, with a couple clicks of the mouse, with something like lead pages, with Russell Brunson's ClickFunnels. And so it's the kind of thing that you could do in minutes. This is not something you need a webmaster for. You need to, hire somebody to do, and so on. And Brian, correct me if I'm not mistaken, but there are certain things that you can do from a Facebook advertising perspective when you have a Facebook fan page that you can't do if you don't have a Facebook fan page.
Yeah, exactly. And again, this wasn't the case back when I got started, but Facebook ads have evolved, and Facebook has given us as marketers so many more tools now when it comes to running Facebook ads. I think there's over 10 different types of ads you can run. There's different bidding strategies. I mean, they've given so many options back there, and they're still all really easy to set up. But if you don't have a fan page, about half, if not more, of your options to run ads are gone. You just don't have them. But if you have a fan page, even if it has no fans whatsoever, I believe even if it's not published yet, they let you create so many different types of ads that look like status updates, and that's part of what we teach in our Facebook Ads Academy, and what we teach inside of this course too is now you can sort of disguise your ads as status updates and make them look more like a conversation. It just helps all the way around when it comes from a fan page versus just being a static normal ad on Facebook. Click-through rates are higher, cost per click is lower. It's a huge advantage that you would have across above your competition if you can make those ads originate from a fan page, whether it's a status update or an offer. There's a bunch of different options you have.
Yeah, and so the reality is for everybody here, that alone should be motivation for you to have a Facebook fan page. Like, if you don't and your competitors do, then you're at a disadvantage. Or I should say they have a competitive advantage over you because there are things that they could do on Facebook in terms of advertising, targeting your marketplace that you won't be able to do. Yeah. So if for no other reason than to level the playing field, you need to have a Facebook fan page. Like, I don't care whether you enroll in the Facebook the fan page funnel coaching program or not. You absolutely need to have a fan page. Now, Brian, the other thing, let's kind of move on, right? And so I know that you teach kind of the ins and outs of how to do Facebook advertising, ultimately driving to an opt-in page within Facebook. But once you get the opt-in, I really like your kind of, let's just call it your content strategy, the messaging strategy that you use in the follow-up, right? Like, and can you just kind of talk a little about that? I know that you talked a little bit about it in video 2, but kind of give an overview of, so somebody opts in, and then what happens over the next week?
So for us, and again, this was sort of brought to be what it is from our baseball site. I knew what I wanted to give away. I knew the product that I wanted to sell right away was a course called Instant Hitting Drills. It was 10 videos. It was me on camera with Scott at the batting cage. We were showing different drills and techniques you can do as a baseball player to improve your swing. So I knew I wanted to take one of those videos out and give it away for free to get and build an email list, and then obviously they would enjoy that piece of content and buy the course. So I believe, and that's kind of what we teach in this course, I know Todd does too, that you want to give value first to prove that you're actually there to help people. And I just generally want to help anyone that doesn't buy our course anyway, just to move them further along so they have a good first impression of us as a company, as a site, as a brand. So what we do is whatever we promise to give away on our squeeze page in exchange for their email, whether it's a free piece of content or a free trial or whatever it is. We want to deliver on that promise as soon as humanly possible. And the fastest way to do it is on the thank you page. As soon as they hit the button that submits their email, on the very next page, we want to instantly give them what they want. And a strategy that we like, obviously you can tweak this however you need to if you're forced to use certain piece of content, but we like to deliver whatever it is via video. It's instantly, you can go through it right then and there. You don't have to download a PDF, you don't have to print off a coupon, whatever it is. If it's something that you can make happen, I would recommend doing it by video, because that way, in that same video that you say, hey, thanks so much for putting your email in, here's the piece of content that I promised you. Boom, 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 lay out the content. You just delivered value for free. They have a good impression of you. They're right then and there, probably they're most likely to buy because you just helped them out. And then we make the pitch and we say, hey, you know, in our funnel, the way we normally do it now is that video is only a couple minutes long. We finish the piece of content and then we say, hey, we hope you liked that content, whatever it is, whether it's a baseball hitting drill, whether it's a Facebook ad technique, whether it's a photography technique, whatever it is. We just end the video by saying, well, I really hope you like that. I hope you implement it. Let us know how it worked for you. And if you would like more content like this, click the button or the link down below this video, and we've created a nice little $10 report for you. You know, fill in the blank with whatever your product and price is, and you can click on that link and learn more about it on the next page. That's it.
Yeah. Now let me jump in because I want to address something here that is savvy, and I want you guys to get this, okay? And actually, before I tell you this, let me say this. If you had problems downloading or getting access to the blueprint, you know, the fan page funnel blueprint, if you click refresh on your page and you click that link, you'll be brought over to video 2 in Brian's sequence where you'll be able to download. You'll see a download link, and so click refresh on your page. The link was fixed, and then you won't get the error anymore. But the thing that I want you to get, and this is something that I actually teach in one of our bigger coaching programs, and it's the idea of what I call EBM content, or education-based marketing. And the thing that I really want you to grasp, and Brian really just kind of scratched the surface a little bit on this content strategy, because his content strategy is actually pretty freaking dialed in terms of there are multiple little content pieces that are actually kind of connected but disconnected throughout follow-up that are super slick. But here's the thing that I want you to get, that, and this is where a lot of marketers kind of, they go off the path, and that is, you heard Brian say that he wants to deliver value. There's value, and for us, what that means is there's education. Something is going to be taught. They're going to be shown something. They're going to be given something that they can utilize. They're going to gain some knowledge and understanding. The key for you to really grasp as a marketer is that there's a certain way to do this. And I know that Brian teaches this, he covers this in the fan page funnel coaching program, but there's a certain way to do it. You're not just educating for the sheer sake of educating. It's not like you're just teaching them something and then at the end saying, hey, by the way, I've got a product. If you want to go buy it, click this link below. Right? That's not what's happening. It's valuable information that ultimately sets up the sale. It's valuable content. It's valuable information that creates even more desire for the prospect to click the link and go buy, and that is key. See, a lot of marketers don't understand that content marketing, right? Content marketing, which is, you know, it's another way of, you know, like when I talk about EBM content or education-based marketing, you know, again, it's not just education for the sake of education. You're a marketer, right? And at the end, you're educating because you want the desire for your product to be greater. You want somebody to see a bigger need for your product. You want there to be more curiosity, more excitement about your product. You want them to see more value in buying your product. And that happens to be done through the educational process. So when Brian, and this is one of the big reasons why I really felt so strongly and why I really brought the fan page funnel coaching program to my tribe and my list, with with the fan page funnel model, right? What you're offering on that first step, on that fan page opt-in, and what you are delivering both at the first content piece and the other 2 content pieces, let's say, it's strategically designed educational content that sets up the sale. By the end of that 3 to 5 minute video clip, the desire for the product is that much greater. The frame has been set, so when they click the link to go to the sales vehicle, let's say a short form sales letter, their frame has been tweaked based on the strategy behind that content piece. And so I really want you to understand that it's not just about, all right, they want to know X, let me tell them X, and then at the end pitch them on why they should buy my product on Y. It doesn't work that way. And so, yeah, Brian, is there anything that you would elaborate on that? Because I think that's such a killer point.
I think what most people are probably thinking is, and this is like the one question I get asked more than anything, especially when we're working with people one-on-one, is, okay, I get that, Todd. It makes sense to me that it needs to link, but how do I do it? Here's my product. Now, what do I take? What's my free giveaway? And there's usually 3 ways that I try to think of coming up with something free to give away. And the 3 things are, number 1, let's take your product, and your product is to teach somebody, let's say Facebook marketing, like take our product, for example. And we're teaching people this whole fan page funnel course, and it's how to monetize Facebook traffic and build a funnel. If I'm trying to think of what piece do I give away to end up getting more people to buy the course, digest the content, and buy the course, the way that I think about it is, if I had 30 seconds to tell someone the one thing out of everything I teach in the course, what's the one thing they need to know that will get them 80% of the way there, that's the one thing I would pull out and give away for free, because it leads right into it. So if you had to shorten the attention span down to 30 seconds, what would you take out of your course if someone said, okay, look, the elevator's about to open, I got to get out. I know you have this great course on horseback riding, or whatever it is. Tell me real quick before I have to go, what's the one thing I should know about your course that will get me the most results? That's what I would take out. The other technique is, what is the other one I was just thinking of? The other thing is, normally I would just take an actual lesson out of that course. So for our hitting drill course, the actual material that they paid $97 for was 10 videos. I just took one of them out. They're all videos on hitting drills, so I took one of them out, and that's it. And it's really okay even if I leave it in the course. Again, if the course is awesome, no one's going to get upset with you that you gave away one little piece for free. I mean, no one really got mad at Chick-fil-A for giving away free chicken nuggets. They still bought the freaking chicken nuggets after it, and they weren't upset. They're not going to stand there and take the free samples all day long. So those are like the 2 ways that I normally think about it. Is really, most of the time, your free content that you want to give away comes from the actual material that you're going to sell them after the fact. And that's normally the easiest way that we do it. And then you're guaranteed to be synergistic. The 2 will work seamlessly together because they actually come from the same original source. And then the third thing I think about, if neither one of those works for whatever reason, is there something that your ideal customer needs to do before they're ready to take your course or to go through your product? So if you're in the fitness world and you're selling personal training, you can't really take away personal training. You can't work with all your leads one-on-one. So the idea of pulling something out of your product doesn't really work. But is there something that they need before they come to the gym with you that you could give away for free, whether it's warm-up exercises or gear, or whether it's supplements or something like that, that they, what do you do before you go to the gym? You get dressed in certain gym clothes, you might take certain supplements, you might have a certain diet, things that you might do before or after using your product. And again, that's another Jay Abraham thing too. But any one of those 3 techniques will really make sure that your free content or your products to your upsells, just everything is really synergistic and works.
Yeah, I think that's great, man. Those are some awesome tips, dude. The thing that I just want to stress again, and this was something that it's funny when I used to run the marketing for Strategic Profits for my buddy Rich Sheffrin, and we would talk about this whole concept of pushing the free line, right? Like it used to be called push the free line, and he hated that. Like he hated it, and because what happened was, like Rich, he used to give away a ton of content, and it was like from this idea of giving away great content, giving away reports, giving away great videos, this idea of, all right, push the free line, like, just give away great stuff. That what happened was over time that it got distorted, and marketers began to understand or misunderstand pushing the free line as, let me just give away a ton of great crap, like a ton of great stuff, like, and I'm just going to give away. And what you've got to understand is that it's great to give away killer content. It's great to give away incredibly valuable stuff. You should, like Brian just said. But the key is that there's some strategy behind the content that's being shared. Like, you're not, the mentality cannot be, I'm hoping to turn them into a customer simply by giving them a ton of stuff. It's, you want to give them good stuff, but that good stuff needs to strategically overcome objections, strategically create more desire, strategically show them what the end result is going to experience, strategically move them closer and closer to the end result, strategically move them down that path to success, right? Leaving a little bit more that for them to go to reach that outcome, like, and in order to do that, they get your course. So you're still giving value, you're still moving them, but you're doing it strategically. So you need to think about the thing that I would add, the only thing that I would add on top of what Brian is saying is that when you're using those tips to think about, well, what am I going to share in these little content pieces, and what would be the best, and what would just blow them away, then you put it through this filter of, is this going to move them closer to needing the product, to wanting the product, to seeing the value in the product, to really being like, I got to get this thing because this, I see it now, I get it.
Yeah.
And so that is that's killer. And it's one of the big parts of why I just dig your I love the content model. I want to go on to one more thing before we wrap up. Before we do that though, let me see, there is somebody asked a question, it's somewhere on this list. So Bob asked, he said, I run a publicity firm that specializes in the indie music market. Will this help to attract more affluent clients?
So he's looking for affluent clients. I guess what do you think his end goal is? Like what he's trying to get his customer to do?
I guess he runs a publicity firm, so obviously maybe his clients are musicians and he is doing publicity for them and he wants to attract more. That doesn't sound like it would. Hey Bob, if you're still on and you can just articulate a little bit on what you mean by that, that would be great, and then we'll definitely answer your question. So Buford asks, in the six-figure funnel formula, we send customers straight from an opt-in to a customer captivation offer. What are the advantages and disadvantages of doing that in the fan page funnel? Okay, so great question. So the question is really, so what are the advantages or disadvantages of sending somebody from an opt-in page straight to an offer? Like from an opt-in page straight to a VSL offer, VSL, versus from an opt-in page to, let's say, a content piece with ultimately an offer in the end. Well, there's a couple things. Number one, when I do VSLs, a VSL, 9 out of 10 times, not always, but 9 out of 10 times, there is always an educational component in there, right? There is always value that's being delivered. Granted, the education, again, is not just education for the sake of education. It's always information that is going to set the frame, that's going to teach them something, and that's going to move them closer to ultimately wanting the product. So there's only a slight difference between when I do a VSL after an opt-in page and the fan page funnel. The difference is that I would say that the first piece of content in the fan page funnel is much shorter than typically the VSL that I would do. So for Brian, the first content piece is typically 3 to 5 minutes, which who the heck can't do that, right? Like it's 3 to 5 minute content piece in a video, typically like, screen capture, ugly video thing. The truth is, and this is kind of funny for me to say this, right? So, because I know that I have six-figure funnel formula clients on here. So, the truth is that if there were disadvantages, the disadvantages, if anything, come with the six-figure funnel formula model. And let me tell you why. I love it. I use it all the time. We routinely send straight from a traffic captivation page or an opt-in page. Doesn't offer a lead magnet. It just has a hook. People opt in and then they get a message. And oftentimes we'll send them straight to a short form sales letter for a low price product. And we've got funnels that convert at 5+% off of cold traffic. If there was one disadvantage to that model versus the fan page funnel model, it's that some people can feel like it was a bait and switch, or some people could feel like, man, I just gave you my email address and now you're taking me directly to sales letter. Like, what's the deal, right? The people that are accustomed to going from squeeze page to content piece, yeah, you risk some of those people being like, well, where was the content? Whereas with the fan page funnel model, you don't have that same risk because, like Brian said, you're delivering on the promise made on the opt-in page. With that being said, there are multiple ways to skin a cat. I say it all the time. There's not one right way to structure a funnel, and you should be testing out as many different. We test out every single new funnel model that somebody says to me that I trust and respect that it's working. We always test it, no matter what, always. And we test it in the same markets where we have other funnel models that are also working. Right? Because at the end of the day, it's not about having one or two funnels that are acquiring customers for you. It's about having multiple funnels, multiple channels that you're leveraging that are bringing in new customers into your business. When you do that, forget about it, man. Your business grows like crazy. For time purposes, let's talk about real quick. Let's talk about. I don't want to run over. We'll run probably 5 minutes over, and then that's it. We'll wrap it up, just because I value your time, and it's the weekend, and I want you guys to go and enjoy yourselves. But so one-click upsells, like one-click upsells, one-click add-on sequences. I'll tell you, for everybody listening, if you're not using one-click upsells, one-click add-ons in your marketing funnels, you're absolutely leaving money on the table. If there was one game changer from the internet, in the internet marketing world over the last 5, 6, 7 years, it was the advent of one-click upsells, the ability to do one-clicks. When I first got online, you couldn't do it that way. There were no one-click upsells, or at least we didn't. The small little guys didn't have access to one-click upsells. And the reason why it's been a game changer is because it gives you the ability today to make low-priced offers work. It gives you the ability today to lower the barrier of entry for new customers, right? Like years ago, if you wanted to upsell somebody after you sold a $7 product or a $9 product or a $19 product, you had to get them to enter their credit card information again, which created a massive amount of friction. There was a massive amount of fall off. It was nothing like it is today. And so it was a lot more difficult to lower the barrier of entry to get new customers in. Today, you can lower the barrier all the way down to $1, to whatever. You get people in, you've got their credit card on file, and then we know, right? That a buyer is a buyer is a buyer. You get somebody to invest $1 with you, that's vastly different from a prospect who didn't invest anything. Even though it's just $1, the fact that they took their credit card out and they entered their digits in, boom, they are that much more likely to buy the next offer, as long as it's congruent, as long as it's either speed or automation or whatever. We won't even get into that. But so Brian, can you just talk a little bit about the value in terms of dollars and cents that having a structured add-on offer or upsell offer sequence in your funnel, what it does, like the type of sequence that you teach within the fan page funnel coaching program? Talk a little bit about the value in terms of dollars and cents.
Yeah. So the first thing I want to say, and it kind of goes back to what we were talking about, the difference between the six-figure funnel formula and us and everyone else that's teaching funnels. The beauty of the whole thing, and for anyone listening to this, any of these options are better than what you're probably currently doing. And there is no right answer. You need to try all of them. My upsell technique, Todd's, anyone who's teaching upsells or their upsell, they're all working for that person in that niche or whatever multiple niches that they're in. So what I'm about to say, again, it's not gospel. It's what works for me in the baseball niche, photography, Facebook marketing, software, and a lot of other clients. And you could tweak and test and do all kinds of stuff to anything in my course, in Todd's course, and anyone's. But again, the key is doing something, is getting one-click upsells in some form or fashion. If you're selling a baseball product, even upselling a basketball product is better than upselling nothing, even though they're not even linked. You know, you could upsell anything you want, and you're going to make more money than you would if you don't. So our philosophy, the way we've done it, and we've sort of made a switch in the past year, is we've gone and we've said, look, our upsells work so well that we might as well try to get more customers into the upsell process. And you could do that a couple different ways. We could either buy more traffic, or we could lower the price of our front-end product to get way more people in. Because if we're selling a $100 front-end product, we might get 25 customers a day to go through that upsell process. But if we lower the price to $10, we might get 50 customers a day to go through the same upsell process just because the price is lower. Just the way it works. So for us, our go-to funnel now starts with a $10 product on the front end, something under $10, whether it's $1 or $10. And because of that, we get so many people going through the upsell funnel. And where we go right away, our $10 products are normally a PDF, some sort of ebook that solves a single problem. And then what we do, which works really well, and this is what we teach in the course, is our first upsell is $97, and it is a video version of that report. Now, on the surface level, that sounds like, you know, why it's the same product, why would anyone buy it? It's the same reason why probably a lot of people on this call buy a book that they like, and then they buy the audiobook, then they buy the Kindle version or the iBook store version, and then they buy the movie when it comes out. It's the same damn story. You just bought it 5 or 6 different times because it's delivered in different ways. So for us, for me, I'm willing to pay a lot more if somebody can get me the end result faster. So go back to the $10 report. You buy a $10 report from me, and maybe it's those hitting drills all laid out in an ebook. Maybe it's 25 pages long. There's pictures. It's step by step. It's a fantastic product for $10. You cannot get that much training and information for $10 anywhere. And it's even a quick read. It's 25 pages. But what if I said right away, you know, hey, Jimmy, thanks so much for buying my $10 report. You made a great decision. A lot of the people that buy this $10 report, they all ask me, hey, do you have these drills or these fill in the blank for your product? Do you have them on video anywhere so I can watch them live in person, get more value out of them because I can see the little intricacies of being on video, and not to mention probably get through the material faster because it's in video. I don't have to spend my time reading. And you get the end result faster because you can go through the material faster. So that's the psychological side of why we do it. And that upsell for us converts over 30%. So we immediately are taking someone from $10 to $100, over almost 10 times the original purchase value. and we get almost 30% of the people to take us up on it. And that is our go-to. That's our control. Whatever niche we go into, if it's photography, we'll start with a $10 report and sell the $97 video version of the report, and so on and so forth. From there, it's really, whatever we have at our disposal, whatever other products we have, we'll throw them in there. But over time, the goal is to have a high ticket upsell right after that, so maybe $200, $300, $400, $500, and that would just be it either would solve a different but related problem. So maybe we'll sell a $10 report on hitting drills, a $97 video version of all the drills, and then a $500 complete hitting system that's not just drills, but it's, it solves 10, 20 other problems all related to hitting. It's like the end-all be-all of products for whatever niche we're in. And then our final upsell is normally a continuity upsell, meaning it's a membership program or a monthly subscription, more on the lower end, so probably $20, $30, $40, $50 a month, maybe $100 a month. And it's just in that program they get the chance to get stuff from us every single month. That is our control. That's our upsell process. And people paid a lot of money to hear us kind of go through that. So it's not something.
Yeah, I was going to say, man. Listen, don't share too much. Remember, strategic. No, I'm just kidding. No, but the beautiful thing is, if you guys, like always, right? We're in the math game, right? Like marketing is all about like communication and arithmetic, right? Like psychology, communication, and arithmetic, math. If you ran even some of the numbers in your head while Brian was generously sharing with you his upsell process, you should have seen that more money is generated, a lot more money is generated through the upsells than the sale of a main product. Majority, the lion's share of the money that is made in that funnel comes from the one-click upsell process, not that first product, right? Not that $10 product. So if you don't have that one-click upsell process in place, you're leaving the lion's share of your money on the table. Now, the other thing for you to grasp to see how this came full circle is that all of that money, the sale of the $10 product, in Brian's case, sale of the $97 product, the $297 product, the continuity, all of those things contribute towards your ability to pay for media to acquire a new customer. See, if you're a marketer that doesn't have that one-click upsell process, or you just don't have it structured right so that it's not converting at 30%, let's just say, and therefore the average transaction value of your customer that goes through that is far lower, well, that just means that you can only afford this to acquire new customers, where Brian can afford to pay this. And all else being equal, the marketer that can afford to invest the most amount of money to acquire a new customer is going to dominate. All else being equal, if Brian can afford, if you can afford to pay 20, and Brian can afford to pay 50, and I can afford to pay 100, you better believe I'm going to dominate the arena, because I can afford to pay 5 times what you can and double what Brian. Notice how I put myself at the top and Brian below me? I'm not kidding. No, but you get the point, right? And so you have to have, I don't care like whether you enroll in the fan page funnel coaching program or not, you have to have one-click upsells. These guys happen to share a piece of a software, an application that they use that I believe in so much that I actually integrated it in my own coaching program. And those of you that are in the Six-Figure Funnel Formula coaching program, you know that. That's how much I believe in that application to make doing those one-click upsells so insanely simple. And so we are over time. But before we wrap up, Brian, share, and Scott, keep it down over there, all right? You're just making so much freaking noise over there. Brian or Scott, talk to these guys quickly about the fan page funnel coaching program. Like, I think the offer is over the top, which it always should be, and you certainly did it, man. And so share with these guys. For everybody, there should be a green button below your video on this page that you can click on at any time, and it'll take you to a separate page where you can watch a video. But Brian, give them, or Scott, or both of you guys simultaneously, give them the 5-minute overview of everything they get with the program.
Yeah, Scott, and you want to cover the what they get in the core course, and I can go over some of the bonuses.
Yeah, definitely. So if any of you guys are actually on that page, live chat is up. So it's actually coming to me, so I might be a little bit delayed and get back to you. But so basically, the fan page funnel is everything that we do in our business. And when we say everything, we made this course literally so that at the end of the course, we have nothing left to say, is like what we've kind of come to. So basically, at the end of the whole course, it's like, guys, go do it. There's nothing left for us to teach you, to talk to about, whatever. But it's really just about, we'll go back to exactly what's in it. So week number 1 is where we're going to cover landing pages and squeeze pages. And really what that comes down to for us is our fan page squeeze. All of our landing pages are inside of Facebook, mostly for the added benefit, basically, of Facebook's trusted environment, and some other reasons we'll talk about inside the course. But we talk about how to structure them, how to write good headlines, video, no video. We give you guys scripts of what we do in our landing page videos. And then we actually have, for those of you guys who, again, a lot of people ask, do I need certain softwares or tools inside the course? You really don't need much at all, because everything we do is pretty cut and dry, pretty actually copy and paste into your business. In week number 1, we give you guys 6 of our premium Facebook landing pages, basically. It's the HTML code is done for you. They're all completely done by our in-house designer, and it's ready for you guys to literally copy and paste the HTML code onto your fan page. We have videos, tutorials to do the whole thing. You don't need to be a coder, designer, anything. So that's week 1. Week number 2 is where we start talking about email follow-up and email marketing. And basically, again, not that we tell you guys what tools you need to go use or anything, but we always like to give our best recommendations, the stuff that we really use, the stuff we're really doing every single day. We talk about, really hone in on what you should be doing within the first 14 days of someone joining your email list. And inside of that, we actually give you guys the actual 100% emails we use in our own email follow-up series. So we literally give you guys the hands-down copy and paste, this is exactly what we're using, and then we have separate versions for you guys to download that are fill in the blank. So for you guys to go in there, okay, so insert benefit number 1, 2, and 3 of my business, take what we're teaching and apply the creativity, twist it for your market a little bit, just that added little bit of your expertise for your people who you're talking to, and there it is, it's done for you. We'll move pretty quickly through the last one. Week number 3 is sales pages. We give you guys literally everything. We give you guys case studies and downloads and scripts of our own sales pages. Week number 4 is where we talk about upsells and back-end stuff. And so it's not literally even just all the great one-click upsells we've been talking about. But once you guys have customers, how do you communicate to them effectively? How do you let them know about other products you have? So even if someone buys something now and says no to your 2 upsells or whatever, that the conversation is still not over, that you still have a job of turning that customer into a repeat customer, even if it takes, if they buy something today, if I get them to buy one more thing, even if it's a year from now, that's lifetime customer value. That's more money you're using a funnel to get. And then week number 5, we talk about all the tech stuff. Everyone's always saying, I'm not a techie, I'm not this, I'm not that, and neither are we. So we cover all the great stuff about how we make our videos and how we basically use, brain dead simple software stuff that you guys can get to make all our stuff look really nice and work very effectively, and how it all ties in together can be kind of confusing. So that's week number 5. And then here's the big thing, is week number 6 is then we talk about traffic. And so that's totally on purpose, is that we will not talk to you guys about traffic. Like Todd said, no one has a traffic problem. It's fist bumping. No one has a traffic problem. Until your funnel is done, you have no business going out there and paying for traffic. So I need to get cheap clicks on Facebook. That's nonsensical. We built this whole thing because we realize that you are wasting your time. You might as well take a big pile of money out back and light it on fire unless you have a funnel set up. So until your funnel's done, we're not talking to you about traffic. But in week number 6, we talk to you about all of our favorite little traffic stuff. And we have a bunch of different bonuses we put in there. We have our bonuses from our live boot camp that we that cost people, the tickets for that were multiple thousands of dollars to attend. We've added in the recordings to that for anybody who enrolls for free. We have our $10, what we call kind of our $10 advertising funnel hacks, kind of, that has a more succinct name, but that's essentially what it is. Advertising on a budget basically is another bonus we've thrown in there. If I had my last $10 to spend on ads to send to my funnel, what would I do? All the different things Facebook's doing now is just some crazy, crazy cool stuff you can do with ads, even though if you're working on a little tiny budget. And so, yeah, I mean, that's it. We give you guys our exact upsell scripts, our keynotes for our sales videos. I mean, we just literally are, whatever we've done, you guys get access to. So that's
one of the
pretty much the course in a nutshell.
That I'm proud of, actually. And we actually added this as a bonus because I wanted to make sure people understood how good our support has gotten in the last 6 or 8 months. We've hired a full-time team. We have 3 full-time support guys in our office here. We're not farming things out. You're talking to people who, live in the States and sleep the same hours you do, and go through the same problems that you guys do. But one of our goals are to actually eliminate support tickets from our company. We still have Zendesk. You guys can submit tickets if you're used to that, but we have live chat embedded throughout the whole course so that during business hours, if you guys are sitting there and you're having a tech problem, maybe one of the videos isn't loading, or you're having an actual funnel problem and one of your things isn't converting, or you can't figure out how to embed a video into your funnel, or something's not working right, that we're there right there when you need it. There's no explaining yourself in a 20-paragraph support ticket and waiting a day and a half for us to get back to you. You can actually talk to us. So we're really excited to be able to offer that to everyone that gets inside. One of the other bonuses is our done-for-you swipe file. So everything throughout the entire funnel, the autoresponder campaigns, the sales page, the content page, our ads, our squeeze page, the upsells, our checkout page, we're giving you our copy. Like literally the copy that we have, a $5,000 a month guy on our staff writing copy full-time. Everything he's written is yours. So if you're not sure how to frame your upsell series, or you want to know what we say in ours, you can watch our videos, you can download the PDFs or the Word documents and just put, fill in the blanks with your product names and whatever you want if you just want to kind of, get things up as fast as possible. Giving you guys a bunch of little pieces of software, a couple Facebook keyword tools.
Yeah, you guys, everybody that's here, you should go watch the video because, go watch the video because you'll see it's just a sick offer. And you'll see for yourself. It really is. It doesn't get much better than that. It slightly pisses me off a little bit. It's that good. And so you should go watch it. It's great. And all kidding aside, these guys know what they're doing, man. And I would not promote anything less than that to my tribe. I take what I do very, very seriously. My ability as an advisor and a coach very seriously, and so I only expose you to what I believe is top notch and is going to make you more money. As long as you are willing to implement what these guys show you, you're going to rock, right? As long as you're willing to implement. And so go watch the video. Like I said, for each and every one of you, there is a green button below the Hangout video that you can click on. That'll take you right to the video that explains everything about the fan page funnel coaching program. As well, there's a link that says download here for the blueprint. That'll take you to video 2 of the sequence. You can watch video 2, learn a little bit more, and then go to the 4th video, and that's the same video. But I highly recommend that you take advantage of the fan page funnel coaching program. You certainly won't be disappointed. And so, Brian and Scott, I've kept you guys long enough. I so appreciate you taking time out of your weekend, and especially during this crazy public rollout, and I know what that is like, guys. And so thank you guys so much, man. I appreciate you being here, and that's all she wrote for everybody. That's a wrap.
Cool. Thanks for having us.
Thanks a lot, Todd. Appreciate it.
You got it. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Catch you later.